I ticked off my first kingy of the season, and I wanted to take you guys on the journey of how I managed to seal the deal. Kingfish. 3 things that I'm looking for. First is bait. It's their food, that's what they're eating, you want to find it. Second is a little bit of current, that's where the bait's going to be. The kingfish also like sitting in that current. And the third thing kind of goes with the current, it's all about depth. You want to get that depth, or be at least close to some depth. On this day, as I was swimming out to a spot that usually has those 3 things going on, I noticed that there was a school of salmon, and I decided that I'd shoot a salmon and burley it. I don't have a problem with eating salmon, and it can be a great fish if prepared correctly. That said though, the intelligence from back home was that if I didn't come home with a kingfish, then I shouldn't be coming home with anything at all. My intention was to take that salmon and then burley it at a pressure point, but if you noticed just in that video there that as I was pulling those salmon in, there was actually a group of kingfish that was sitting underneath the school of salmon. And that would be a theme worth noting throughout my dive, that those kingfish were hanging with the salmon. Despite seeing those kingfish off to the side there, I still decided to sit at that pressure point where there was current, where there was bait, and where there was depth nearby, because I know that that's the most likely spot that those kingfish are going to come back to. So I burleyed it there, and I dived down in that burley trail. And as you can see, there's a kingfish that comes in. Now, he was probably a little bit far away. I probably did have a little bit of buck fever, and I managed to completely miss that shot there. No trouble there. I continue and I managed to find those salmon again. Now this time I find them, I know that there could be the possibility of those kingfish sitting with them. So I approach very calmly. And as you can see, I've seen them off in the distance, but I'm not engaging in eye contact. The thing is that fish are really worried about things that are on the surface, the things that are above them in the water column. So being as non-threatening as possible is quite vital. So I breathe up there and I dive straight down to the bottom, trying to make myself as inconspicuous as possible. And as you see, those kingfish, they break off from underneath that school and they start swimming past me there. I managed to get a pretty decent shot off there, but unfortunately my flopper didn't engage. So I lose that fish. It looked like a really nice fish, maybe in that 75 centimeter, 80 centimeter range. And he swims off, hopefully to live another day. It was a higher shot on that fish through his back, so I don't think that fish would have a problem surviving that injury. Now, at this point, I'm pretty certain that those salmon are quite spooked. I do come across them again. I try and bring them closer, as you'll hear with those grunts that people talk about. As you can see, those salmon are quite skittish there. I run into them once more and I notice that the kingfish are no longer present with the school. And so I decide that rather than chasing the school or ending my dive, I decided to loop back around, shoot a piece of burley, and then take that piece of burley to that pressure point again to see if I can get the kings to come back through. The reason I've got one band unloaded here is because I'm trying to shoot burley that is around the stones and I want to preserve my spear. I'm not shooting big fish at this point, and I'm not too concerned if the burley runs away or swims away. And so I'm looking for something to burley, probably the crimson band of wrasse, something like that. And of course the kingfish decide to turn up. Now I make an educated decision here to not spend the time reloading my gun and just trying with one band. I don't think that you should ever have one band on your gun unless you're shooting burley, but here I didn't really have an option. I dived down trying to avoid eye contact. I was hoping that those kingfish would go on the deeper side of me so that they would feel a little bit more at ease. But all the same, they came through there, and I managed to seal the deal on my first kingfish of the season. So 3 things that I'm looking for when I'm chasing kingies. First, bait. Second, current. And third, depth. And best of luck. If you've liked this video, do all those YouTube things. Like and sub if you're keen for more. And cheers, I'll catch you out there on the next one.